Alright, what's going on everyone? I've been meaning to make this video for a while. I've actually been setting it up for like the last several days. And in fact, before I went to my family for Christmas, I actually had part of this set up. But anyway, it's a speculation on what the resurrected abilities are going to be for these manga characters, the original 14, when they get resurrected. I do think it's going to happen soon. I don't know when, but we do already have several seasonal characters, all of the original movie characters, and a lot of premium characters that have already been resurrected that came out after the original 14 manga characters. This idea was given to me by somebody in my chat. I'm sorry, I should have written down your name. I went back to find your name to see if I could find out who gave me this idea. It was a really good idea, and I just couldn't find it. I'm sorry. If it's you, let me know, and I'll pin you in the comments so that the right person can get credit. But yeah. That said, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go over a few rules first. I'm not going to give anyone innate skills, just because right now, there hasn't been any resurrected character that got innate skills, and so I'm not going to add it to something that's not going to happen. Plus, innate skills usually happen when they're 5 stars as well, and these guys have already been 5 stars, so I don't think they're going to give innate skills to anybody. I'm also not going to give any additional killers. I do think there's a chance that when they get resurrected, they might get additional killers, but the game hasn't done that yet. They haven't given any resurrected character an additional killer, so I won't either. Normal attacks will stay the same, meaning that if they have a ranged attack that does not pierce, when they get resurrected, they're gonna keep that, because again, the game has not changed that. And no additional status elements will be added to strong attacks, because that's not a thing that happens when they get resurrected anyway, so why would I add it? Because I'm not gonna add a rule that doesn't exist already. There is a rule, there is some abilities that give strong, I guess, specials, status elements, but we're probably not going to see any of those. And the last rule that I didn't write down is that I'm going to limit these guys' new abilities to 9, or total abilities to 9, because I went to try to find anyone with higher than 9 abilities, and I couldn't find any. There might be someone with 10 or 11, but at least for skill tree abilities, 9 is all I could find, so that's what I'm going to stick with. But that said, let's go ahead and get started with Shun Sui, the first on our list of 14 here. Forgive me if I go a bit fast. There's 14 of them, and I don't want this video to be extremely long. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, Shun Sui, I think there's a good chance they're going to give him a low stamina damage link. Now, hear me out on this. I think low stamina is like 25% on a secondary ability. Let me look up somebody who has it while I explain why I think they might give this to him. I do think they're going to give him a low stamina damage thing just because it kind of makes sense, because he was kind of really hurt in this battle. It also, I know a lot of people want him to get a strong attack recharge ability. I want this as well, but if he gets a strong attack recharge ability, I'm having a difficult time here. Noitora, I think Noitora has it. If they give him a low stamina, it's 24%. Okay. If they give him a strong attack recharge secondary link, it can only be a max up to 10%. And that wouldn't really make much sense with this character, or because of how hyped this character is. So I think it's more than likely they're going to give him something to increase his damage this way, and then not have to worry about it later. I do think they're going to give him that ability of strong attack recharge, but I think it's going to be in the form of an ability, not an actual soul trait. Because it would give him the extra 2%, and this character deserves it because he's so good. As for his devastation, I do think that's going to change to a bombardment. He is a manga character. We're starting to see a lot of hype characters get bombardment and frenzy. So I do think he's going to get bombardment to help with his instant kill special. It'll hit more times, more chance to instant kill. So we're going to go ahead and change that to green just because it's a new ability. And it will replace Devastation, hopefully. He has Havoc. He has Frenzy. I don't think he's going to get Frenzy at 2. I don't think any of these original manga characters are going to get Frenzy at 2 or Flurry at 2. But I do think they're going to get really high, like, Berserkers or Bruisers. In his case, it's Berserker. I do think he's going to get Berserker at, like, 60%. He does not inflict a status summon, so they're going to want to bump that up. Plus, with the low stamina damage at 24% and the strong attack damage, it would essentially be over 100% before Frenzy, which is not exactly Frenzy at 2, but it's, you know, damage-wise, it's very close. And yeah, I think the only other possible thing they could give him to make him really good is Guard Break. They haven't given anyone Guard Break yet, as of this recording, for their resurrection, but I wouldn't rule it out. Although I don't know that they would, you know, give somebody that stacked ability. So we're gonna leave this off here with Shun Sui and move on the Toshiro Hitsugaya. Now, Toshiro, I do think is going to get a strong attack damage link. It's been a little bit since we've seen another resurrected. I think we got 3 red strong attack damage and strong attack recharge links before we got any of the, or yeah, almost any of the other ones. Not to mention, it's been like a while since we've seen one for the power attribute. So we're going to go ahead and change that. We're going to give him a strong attack damage, make it a little darker, strong attack damage link to go with his strong attack recharge. Fun thing about this Toshiro, he does not have Havoc, but his strong attack 1, even though it's a lunge move, same as Shun Sui, actually has a better range than Shun Sui's. And it has a better range than almost every character that has a lunge move that comes out now that has Havoc. His strong attack 1 still is still a wider range, which is crazy, again, because he doesn't have Havoc. I do think they're going to give him Havoc, though. At first, I didn't, just because it wouldn't really make sense to give a character who already has a crazy strong attack 1 range Havoc. But I took a look at some other characters, namely the tech version of Aizen, Flyzen, as a lot of people have taken to calling him, and he has a lunge move as well that has ridiculous range, and he does not have Havoc. It's a ridiculous range on his lunge move, so I do think there's a chance they might give him Havoc. He also has weakened defense on his special. I do think that's gonna take the over for that. I don't think he's gonna get bombardment, but I do think he's going to get Bruiser, something this guy, despite having a really fun normal attack, really good range on his normal attack, doesn't actually have anything to increase his normal attack damage. So I do think they're going to change that and maybe give him a plus 20 Bruiser. Plus 20 or plus 30, I do think it's plus 20. He did inflict a status element, and he's not a normal attacker, so it just kind of makes sense to give him 20 instead. So we're going to leave that there. And then finally, I do think they're going to give him Berserker. Berserker at... Oh, nice. It stays green. I don't have to change it. Nice. Berserker at... Let's say he inflicts status summon. I do think it's going to be at 40. Plus, with an additional strong tech damage link, that would actually increase that to like 56 before Frenzy. So that's good enough there. And I think that's 9. This is a problem. This is a problem. Okay, so when I thought about making this, I did think Toshiro's kind of an interesting character among all of these, because out of anyone in the first 14 that could possibly get an ailment reduction ability, it's Toshiro. Because how in the world are you going to have a manga Toshiro looking like this with the abilities that he has, and he's able to get frozen? I don't think they're going to allow for that. I really don't. Although I can't imagine them getting rid of... If anything, they'll replace Havoc with freeze immunity. For now, we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna say that he's gonna be able to be frozen. I don't like that. It's just weird to think about, but we're just gonna go with it for the sake of having a really good character, you know. But let's go ahead and move on to Byakuya. Now, Byakuya is one that I've been really excited to do this on, because he was fun, but he was by no means a really good character, because they didn't give him Flurry, they didn't give him Frenzy, they gave him Bombardment, which at the time meant you didn't get either. Honestly, he's not a good character. He's fun, but he's not good. So let's go ahead and try to fix that. I do think they're gonna give him some sort of strong attack recharge ability, whether it's on his link or his. Actually, let's do this. I think they're gonna give him a strong. It makes more sense to give a strong attack recharge of 12% rather than 10% for his ability, just because it's a bigger number. It's the strong attacks come back faster, and I think as much as people are gonna complain, and I don't really mind personally, I think they're gonna give him. Or I think it would be good. I guess when I say I think, I should really say they should, just because, you know, who knows what they're gonna give him. But I think they can give him stamina. Oops, stamina. We'll shorten it. Stamina recovery at 16% to kind of help out with that full stamina damage link. Give him a way to recover some health if he were to lose it, so he doesn't have a completely useless link. Yeah, it would still suck if he gets hit, but he also has barrier moves. He also has barrier moves to help out with that. Speaking of which, he was the first character to have barrier moves, so let's go ahead and give him multi-barrier, because why not? Oops. It's not a ridiculously... Well, it's a pretty good ability, but it'll really help him out, especially if he does end up getting that strong attack recharge. So, barrier, and then... This is an ability, so it's not going to be reduced by anything. We're going to do multi-barrier at 2. Okay. I do think they're gonna replace Berserker. Everyone kind of hopes, and I pitched this too. I'm part of the problem here. That's 3. Okay. I do think they should give him Frenzy. I do think they should give him Frenzy, and I kind of really hope that they give him Flurry. I think if anyone has a chance, it'll be Byakuya. Whether they do it or not, it's just entirely up to them. But he would be the perfect character to do that with, just because he is a hybrid character. I guess he was kind of always meant to be a hybrid character. The problem with Byakuya is, like I said, a normal attack that does not pierce stays a normal attack that does not pierce, and so his normal attack, even if it had a flurry, would not pierce. So you know what? Let's not do that. Let's keep that. Give him Berserker. Give him Berserker back at, let's say 60%, because it should go up. There we go. Berserker. Oh, you know what? No, let's say 40, because we're gonna increase his bruiser to 60. Let's change that to green. Change it to 6. It's a slightly different green, but oh well. Alright, there we go. Now you have a character with a really good normal attack who does not have to rely on it because he has Frenzy and Berserker, an extra strong tech recharge, Havoc at 20. Did I lose the multi-barrier? There you go. A multi-barrier at 2. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? Yep, that's 9. There you go. That's how you turn Byakuya good. Honestly, he's one of the ones that I'm most excited, I should say. There's a lot of characters that I'm excited to get resurrected for manga-wise, but it's not Toshiro. It's, for me anyway, it's not Toshiro. For me, it's not Shun Sui. It's Byakuya, it's Sajin, it's little Yachiru, it's Yuha. It's all the characters that should have been better, and just for one reason or another, were not. I do think this would be good, though. This would be a good way to fix this Byakuya. Alright, speaking of Sajin, let's move on to Sajin. Sajin probably has, I don't want to say he has the least amount of abilities out of any one of the first 14 manga characters, but I think he might. Let me check real quick. He has 5, the rest have... Nope, Kenny has 5, Ichigo has 5. Okay, yeah, he definitely doesn't have... He's not the only one, but he is one of the ones with least because he only has 5. Unfortunately, he also got in his spot a killer, which means he was kind of really only a PvP character, which he did excel for a while. But unfortunately, you know, PvP is one of those things that it's so often you get a character, you max them out, and then in 3 months there's another new PvP character, which sucks. That said, he's still a really good normal attacking character if you can get his attack high enough, because he does have Flurry. We're gonna go ahead and give him a damage reduction soul trait of 16. Oh, I guess it would be less, wouldn't it? Isn't it 14 or 12 if they're strong attack, or if it's a secondary ability? Let's go ahead and do that. I wish there was a way to just always have it green. Oh well. Yeah, I do think he's gonna get damage reduction because I think they might try to sell this guy as a Link, if anything else. They will probably give him Bruiser. Again, they won't give anyone Flurry at 2. I don't think. Who knows? I can hope, but I don't think they will. Bruiser at 60%. He also has a normal attack damage link of 20%, bringing that up to 80, which would be really, really good. There we go. A lot of normal attacking characters get Last Ditch Survival, so we're going to go ahead and give him that. You know what? Let's do this. This makes more sense. Let's give him damage reduction here at 16%. Oops. That way he can get by a little bit more by himself. I don't know how to compute her. Okay. Let's do this, and let's give him Last Ditch Survival at 80. Last Ditch Survival, 80%, because that's a bit more useful to have as a Link, and he also gets a damage reduction if you want to use it himself. So that actually makes more sense. So there you go. Flurry, Bruiser at 60%, damage reduction. There we go. Long Reach, I do think it's going to change to 20 because 15 is a really weird number. So we're going to switch the Long Reach to 20. He also has a very, very, very unique special. He's the only one that has this. Where if you use a special, the last attack on his normal attack string gets increased range. It's a very... I love when they do unique things to specific characters. And this is one thing that I'm really glad they did with Sajin. You know what? Let's go ahead and give him a guard break. Give him another reason to be good. For people to really, really want this character. It's... Oops. There we go. Nope. There we go. Aside from that, he doesn't really need much of anything else. He's a normal attacking character. He has no status elements on his strong attacks. He has no status elements on his special. There's no abilities that give any particular thing. I think, honestly, do this, and he would be a really good character. Increased strong attack damage of 80%, flurry, guard break, damage reduction, last-ditch survival. Honestly, that'll be fine. Yes, he'll have an Espada killer, but you can still get a really good character if you do this. So yeah, that's Sajin. Man, I'm excited for this character. This is making me more excited for this. I really hope they do this soon. I have no idea. They haven't said when they're going to do it. It's just speculation on my part that it'll be somewhat soon, just because they'll want to get some in before the next anniversary, because that's when they'll probably resurrect Ukiura. And Ukiura has an SP of like, it was like the 770s SP, 769 I think it was when he first came out. And at that point, a lot of the manga characters were already exceeding that. So yeah, I do think that this will happen. Yeah, because the last batch of the original manga characters came out the same anniversary as Ukiura, so I do think there's a chance. Okay, Murder Mom. Next we have Retsu. Everyone loves this character. This character's so good. I am so excited to see what they do with her. I do think they're gonna give her a normal attack damage link because, yes, I think it's 16%, right, for secondary links. So we're gonna give her 16% normal attack damage link. Do this. Okay. Next up, Flurry. I do think, like I said, not Flurry 2, but Bruiser. We are gonna increase the Bruiser. Let's say 60%, because that extra 16 will bring it up to 76, which is really good. There we go. Sorry, I can't see my keyboard because the the mic is in the way, so sometimes I'll type things twice because I forget that I typed it. All right, Flurry at 1, Bruiser. I do think there's also a chance they'll give her guard break. Like I said, they haven't really given anyone guard break from the resurrected characters, but it's a manga thing. I do think that they're going to make an exception for a lot of rules in manga characters, to the point where they might even give some characters laceration as an ability, and I'd be totally fine with that. I'm just not doing it because it hasn't been done yet. So yeah, Bruiser, guard break. She already has long reach. Berserker doesn't matter. Medic, sure, let's give her a last ditch survival, and let's say 100%. That way, there's a chance that, you know, we might actually get her as a PvP character again. A lot of people still use her. Why not give him a little bit of a boost? They could also give her a barrier piercer and a bunch of other stuff. But I don't think they're gonna make her, like, if they resurrect her, they're not gonna make her compete with a lot of the PvP characters that are out now, because then people won't summon for a lot of the characters that are out now, and they definitely don't want that because of money. Still, I think there's a chance they'll give her this, make her a really useful autoer among everything else. She already is. Alright, let's see. Retsu is done. Kenpachi. This guy needs work. Okay, first things first. I'm giving you Sprinter. I don't care about the link. You have to have Sprinter. You have to have Sprinter. Everybody was so annoyed with this character when he first came out because Kenpachis typically didn't have Sprinter. Now they do. But back in the day, they didn't. And that was really, really annoying. The plus is on the wrong side. That's a minus. Okay. Back in the day, they didn't. And this character was the first, or one of the first, I guess, the first technically good PvE Kenpachi. And he didn't have Sprinter, making him really slow. Really fun, but really slow. I think he's also going to get Berserker, because Berserker. And let's say 60%, because manga characters are special. And let's go ahead and give him Havoc as well, because his strong attacks do have good range, but they could be better. They could be a little bit more up to date. He has an Arankar killer, so he doesn't necessarily need guard break. So we're not going to waste that ability on him. It would be useful for other characters, but you're probably only going to use him for Arankar, so we're just going to leave it at that. And honestly, oh, Link, right. One thing I really hope to see. We're going to give him a strong attack recharge link. One thing I really hope to see for manga characters, or I guess even before manga characters, it would be nice. but I think there's a chance they'll start this with manga characters. Is characters that transform with their specials, like this Kenny does, and like Yoroichi, who you'll see later in the video, does, and even Yuha. I do hope they come up with some sort of ability that like doubles or triples the time that they can be transformed. Because right now, even if you have a special that's 5 out of 5, it's still only 30 seconds. And a lot of those moves are really cool or change drastically if you use your special, like Yuha's. And it would be really cool to be able to use those more than 30 seconds with the extra boost that they have. For Kenny in particular, he does get a boost on his strong attacks when he does this special, so his strong attacks could potentially deal more damage than a character with Frenzy at 2 once he gets his special off. Potentially, because it's increased by like 30%. But yeah, we're going to leave him here. I think this would be a good idea for this Kenny. Okay. Next is to you. The worst character out of the original 14. Yachiru. Everybody knows the frustration with this character. Got bombardment, everybody hated it. She did not get Frenzy, and she got a bad killer too. Honestly, she's not a good character. So we're going to go ahead and give her a little bit of help. We're going to give her Frenzy. We're going to give her Frenzy at 1. We're going to keep the Berserker at 40% because she has Bombardment. And we don't want to make her too OP just because it wouldn't make sense to make her too OP. But I think giving her Frenzy at 1 with that Berserker at 40% and the Bombardment within a Espada killer would actually make her pretty good. And someone that I would use as a person who has very few Espada killers in my game. Very few good Espada killers in my game. I would definitely use this character if she had Frenzy and a Bombardment in Guild Quest, because Lord knows I need it. We're also going to switch... You know what? We're going to switch the Bruiser. I said we weren't going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch it to 60% and switch the Bruiser to 50. Just to make her a bit more viable when she uses her special and it's not broken. Plus, I don't think they'll give all of the characters who have a strong attack damage link or strong attack recharge link the other one. Like, I don't think they'll give them all strong attack damage and strong attack recharge links. So I do have to make some changes here. Bombardment. And why not? She could benefit from Havoc. We're going to add it over here so I don't have to change the thing by myself. There we go. Havoc. 20%. We're going to leave that there. As for a link, I don't know what they could possibly give her. Maybe full stamina damage, just to give her something. Full stamina damage. Nope. It's 16%, right? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I think that would make up for a pretty good character. Full stamina. There we go. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best character still. Obviously, the killer would definitely hold her back, but with a character with Frenzy and Havoc and Berserker, I think you just easily fix this character. Full stamina damage link wouldn't break her because you can still get hit and lose that extra damage, but at the very least, you'd have useful abilities after you use your special, something she does not have now. So we're gonna go ahead and leave her there. Okay, next up we have this guy. We have Ichigo. So design-wise, he's one of my favorite Ichigos. I think this design of Ichigo looks really cool. Dual-wielding Ichigo, the whole black and white aesthetic is really nice. Unfortunately, the character got an Espada Killer and Flurry, which ordinarily Flurry would be fine, but his normal attack only goes for 3 attacks and then it's done. Making it 3 attack normal attack strings are good and bad. They're bad because you don't get that much damage because normal attack strings have 4 attacks. This one only has 3, but at the same time you get to your final strike faster because you only have 3 attacks, and the final strike does a bit more damage than the others. Overall, a longer normal attack string of 4 would have been better, but we're not going to change that. That's going to stay the same. His normal attacks do pierce, which which is really nice. Something that Byakuya did not get that advantage. His do pierce. We're going to keep the Flurry. We're going to give him Bruiser at, let's say 60% because he has that normal attack damage link of 20%, bringing it up to 80. There we go. Although it's tempting to give him 80 just because he only has the 3 attacks. But oh well, we're going to keep that there. He already has weakened defense on his special, which is really nice. It's hard to give him much of anything else. I guess we can give him... Let's give him Guard Break. Let's help this guy out a little bit. He has an Espada Killer, which means you're probably going to use him against the wrong cards if you use him in PvE, because wrong cards typically have Espadas as bosses. Unfortunately, actually no, this is actually good, because if you're using him against wrong cards, they can guard against ranged attacks, which is what he is, a ranged attacker. So this actually works out really well. And let's give him, he's not a PvP character, but he could be used for autoing. Let's go ahead and give him, let's bring it up here. Last Ditch Survival. I always type the wrong thing. Last Ditch Survival at 100%. Just because it makes a bit more sense. There's not a lot that you can do for this character because of how he is. Or I guess what he is, what they gave him. They kind of screwed him over with his normal attack and his link. But we're going to go ahead and say that that's good enough and give him a damage reduction link of 12%. It's not enough to really make this character super viable. I think they just broke him with what he is, but giving him that guard break and the extra damage and normal attack, I think would go a really long way to doing that. So we're going to go ahead and give him that and change this to green. I'd be really interested if you guys think a certain character should have something else that I'm not doing or that I'm overlooking or whatever. Do let me know. I think it'd be interesting. Let me know in the comments what you guys think should be given to these characters. Okay, next up is Renji. Now, unfortunately, out of the Rukia, Renji, Ichigo banner that these guys came out in, Ichigo was the worst one. Renji is... Renji's good. Renji's really, really good. Renji was one of the better manga characters to come out. He already has Havoc, increasing his strong attack range. He has a full, beyond full screen strong attack 3 when fully charged. It's a charge move. It does a lot of damage. He's honestly a really, really good character. And his strong attacks have really, really good range because of Havoc. So we're going to keep the strong attacks the same. We are going to change and give him Berserker at, let's say, 60%. That seems to be what I'm defaulting to with all of the manga characters, giving them Berserker at 60% if they're a strong attacking character and keeping the Frenzy. I don't think there's any resurrected character that has gotten Berserker up to 60%, but again, these are manga characters. There have definitely been some resurrected characters that have gotten Bruiser at 60%, which is why I'm giving a bunch of these characters Bruiser. So yeah, we're going to give him Berserker at 60% to help out with that. He's gotten a Roncar Killer. We're not going to give him Guard Break. I don't think that would be the way to go. Honestly, there's not a lot I can do for this character to make him better. He's just really good. Let's go ahead and give him... I didn't want to do this with every single one, but I didn't do it with Yachiru, so we're going to do it with this guy. Strong attack damage of 16%. Give him a really good link to go with that other link. There we go. Turn this green. Honestly, I'm kind of at a loss here of what to... You know what? Let's give him Bombardment. Let's really deck out Renji. He also has an instant kill special, and I think if anything, Bombardment would really, really help him. There we go. Okay. Honestly, he's probably the one that I have to work on the least. He was already such a good character. You don't really have to give this guy much to make him good. Just a higher Berserker, which they're gonna do just because. And Bombardment was really more of a free gift. He doesn't really need it. We're gonna give it to him just for a special anyway, but this guy was just really good. Okay, next we have Rukia. I love this character. I love the design for the... Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Now, Rukia was the first character to have complete immunity to something as an ability. The only other character to have it, or there were two other characters to have it, but they didn't have it as an ability. They had it as links. Those were Wonderwise and Nemu. They had immunities, but they were links. She has it as an ability. We're going to give her a strong attack recharge link, because I don't think we've given it to a speed character yet. SAR of 10%. And there we go. The reason you see me type it twice is because I type it on the keyboard on my right side of my keyboard, and then I go to look for the % sign on the top of my keyboard, and I see the numbers and I type. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue. Okay. In addition to Bruiser, I do think there's also, Berserker. We're gonna give it at 40% for her because she has a status element, plus her strong attack damage is already at 20% for her link. So this brings it up to 60%, and with that freeze, it's really going to help out. I also think they're also going to give her damage to frozen enemies. Damage to frozen 20%. Just because she can freeze with her special, she can freeze with all of her attacks. Her special leaves behind a vortex she can definitely use to freeze. Happened again! Okay. I must have blown out the mic. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. What else? Let's see here. Honestly, she's already got a lot of stuff. I don't think we can fit anymore. I think that's 9. Which is a shame, because giving her, giving her Havoc would have been a really good idea, but I think this is the play here. I don't think everyone's gonna get Havoc, although I've been giving it to everyone. She would really benefit, though, from Havoc for her strong attack, too. That's a shame. They're gonna have to either go to 10, or... They're gonna have to either go to 10 or start giving out innate abilities for some of these characters. Unless you put damage to frozen enemies as a link, but I doubt they'll do that. Because you have to kind of give her a strong attack recharge of some kind. Just to make her, you know, really good. Yeah, we're just not going to give her Havoc. It hurts my soul, but that's where we're at. We're only going to limit to 9. Okay, next we have Yoruichi. They should have given this character Long Stride. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to her. They do... Actually, that's what I'll do. There is already a secondary ability. We're going to change damage to frozen enemies to Havoc. Because there's already... As a secondary ability, you can already give characters damage to, you know, frozen enemies or paralyzed enemies or burnt enemies. That's an ability you can give by getting them to 15, 15, 15 or 20, 20, 20. So we're going to assume that that'll be the case for her and give it to that way. Same thing with Yoruichi. We're not going to give her Long Stride for that same reason. You can already give her Long Stride if you 15, 15, 15 her, which is what I did. So we're not going to give her that. We are going to give her Havoc at 20. People already complain a lot about this character's range on her strong attacks, and for kind of a good reason. I feel like her strong attack 2 should have a bit more reach than it does. That was kind of a complaint when she first came out, and this would definitely help fix that, plus it would make her a lot better. Like I said, you can give her Long Stride by yourself if you decide to go that route. I do think they'll give her... Berserker at, let's say 60%. She's also one of those characters that transforms with her special, meaning it's actually going to be a lot higher than 40% when she gets her special out. So we're going to do that. We're going to keep Frenzy at 1. We're going to give her... What should we give you? What should we give you? I don't know what to give you. I really don't. I'd say SAR again, I guess. I didn't want to give everyone SAR, but it kind of makes the most sense just to give them strong attack recharge. That would be ridiculous. There we go. And honestly, that's it. I would say Long Stride as well, but she's one of those characters that you can give her Long Stride. You can also give her damage to paralyzed enemies as an ability as well, which is why I'm also not adding that. It's tempting to do it, but not everyone needs 9 abilities, so we're going to go ahead and leave that there. I also don't think they're going to make them all extremely broken, so we're just going to leave that there. Okay, next up is Kisuke, Poison Immunity, Frenzy, Bruiser, Strong Attack Damage, Strong Attack Recharge. I do think they're going to give him an ability to heal. Let's see here, Stamina, Recover. There we go, 16%. It doesn't go as far as that, just because it kind of makes sense for the character. There we go. It kind of makes sense for the character that, you know, he can repair himself. It makes sense to be able to heal from floor to floor. I would give him Elastic Survival, but his special kind of covers that. It gives protection, which resurrects him if he were to go down, so we're going to leave that there. We're also going to give him Havoc and Frenzy, just because Havoc is always good to have. Havoc at 20%. Not Frenzy, Berserker. Berserker at 60. There we go. He's not much of a damage character because the strong attack 1 is kind of bad for that. But his other 2 strong attacks are pretty good for it, so we're gonna... There we go. I should have just highlighted them both. I'm a fool! And there you go. There's not much you can do for this character. There we go. because of that strong attack 1, but you can fix the other stuff and maybe give him guard break as well. Just because I really like Kisuke, and I'm being a little bit biased in giving him guard break. But what are you gonna do? It's my video, you know. You guys can make one. But yeah, that would be a pretty decent way to fix this character up. Giving him Havoc would actually really help out for his for actually both his strong attacks 1 and 2. His strong attack 2 is kind of it's like a weird radial thing emitting from him. It would really help out if it had a little bit of better reach. And a strong attack 1, well, it's not great because it splits off in 3 directions and really waters down the damage. If you increase the Havoc and the range of that attack, then 2 of those 3 might hit the same enemy, causing more damage, which would be really good for him because, like I said, not great strong attack 1. Still, that's as far as we're going to go for this guy. Not the best link that you can give him, but would definitely fit with the character. If you were to have this. That or full stamina damage as a link, which is also entirely possible. There you go. He has no way to heal himself, though, so... Oh well. Okay, next up we have Yuha. Yet another character that disappointed. Not just for his killer, which was Captain, kind of dooming him to be a PvP character, which, granted, he was a pretty good PvP character when he came out, but unfortunately they gave him Bombardment, no Frenzy, and that kind of really hurt him. So we're going to fix that. We're going to give him, we're going to keep the Berserker at, we're going to actually bump up the Berserker. We're going to say 70% just because of who he is. We're also going to change and give him Frenzy at 1, in addition to that Flurry, which, not Flurry, Berserker, in addition to Berserker, since he already has Berserker. He has Bruiser at, we're going to change that to Bruiser at 50%. Because his normal attack also changes when he transforms. Keep the Bombardment. Keep the Start Barrier, obviously. It'd be cool if they were to bump that up, but they're not gonna. I don't think that... For a PvP character, I don't think he would have Havoc, because that wouldn't really make sense. Any PvP ability they can give him afterwards, they can give him the ability to pierce barriers. You can give him the ability to pierce barriers if you 15 them, or anything else that might be in that list. I haven't really taken a look at it, admittingly. Still, I do think this would be pretty good for him to get. There was another thing that came to mind, and I don't quite remember what it was. Let's give him... Does Last Ditch Survival, when you have Last Ditch Survival, do you come back with the 10 barriers? I don't think that's the case. We're going to give it to him anyway. Last Ditch Survival. There was something else that was in my head for this guy, and I cannot remember what it was. That would be really good to give him. Either way, you give him Frenzy, that solves a really big part of your problem. There we go. Oh, that's what I thought. Full stamina damage. Because he starts with 10 barriers, I think it would be a really good idea to give him full stamina damage. Either at as his link or as an ability. Honestly, full stamina damage and Last Ditch Survival could be interchangeable because of this. You just, you know, kind of swap them. And it would, you know, unless the enemies have the ability to pierce barrier, he's going to get an extra damage out of his attacks. Both normal attack and strong attack. And special, for that matter. But yeah, that's Yuha. Okay. Oh, this is a long video. Finally, we have the Ichigo. I saved him for last. He was supposed to be, like, before Yoroichi, but I switched the order because I wanted to have an Ichigo at the very end. Obviously, this character would have, because he's such a hype character, we're going to give him strong attack damage. There we go. Strong attack damage is an ability. And we're going to give him a Berserker. Now, Berserker. Okay, I had to double check my spelling. I was like, did I spell that correctly? I'm a little tired. Okay, Berserker at 60% because we're not going higher than 60 except for Yuha, just because of Yuha. The thing that Ichigo has over them, though, is that Ichigo's Strong Attack 2 is a boost move, which is obviously great, increases damage, but his boost move also transforms him. It increases the damage of his strong attacks by 20%. The magnification on his strong attacks by 20%, I should say. And that results in a lot more damage, which, you know, yay. So yeah, his strong attacks would actually be hitting a lot harder than other characters with Berserker at 60. Despite it still being at Berserker at 60. We're also going to give him Havoc, because Havoc... 20%. There we go. And he has room for one more. Let's go ahead and say guard break. I want to give him guard break because obviously Ichigo, but also because he has a Soul Reaper killer, and those guys really love to... Oh, never mind. We can't give him guard break. He has Enhancer. We can only give him 2 to reach the 9, unfortunately. But there you have it. That's what I think will happen with this guy. Now, I do really hope that... Like, I said off the top of the video that I wasn't going to give anybody innate skills, just because they haven't done that. I do think there's a chance they'll do this for manga characters, and for characters moving forward after that. I do think they'll just give them additional abilities, because you can only fit so much in the soul tree before it starts to get bad. So I think that they'll give them, like for example, for this Ichigo, you can move paralysis immunity and weaken immunity to the innate skills, and then give him 2 more abilities or 1 more ability or whatever they want to do with them. I think it makes a lot of sense to do that for these characters, especially characters like Yoroichi, like Toshiro, who, for all intents and purposes, should be immune to their status ailments like paralysis or being frozen, especially frozen for Toshiro, and it makes more sense to give them that as an innate skill, and, you know, just give them another ability for a good ability. But yeah, there you have it. Thank you again to whoever gave me this idea. Again, I'm very sorry. I should have written down your name and I didn't. I apologize. I really enjoyed making this. This was like my 3rd take for this because I kept screwing up. So I really, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. Do hit like to know that you like this kind of stuff, not just gameplay, not just top 10s, not just stuff like that, but like videos like this that, you know, you can get a bit more creative on or use a bit more of imagination on. Do let me know in the comments below. With that said, thank you guys for watching. Take care.